This is the best Fortnite warm-up routine that will make you go from this to hitting clips just like this. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Every warm-up, I always start with free building. I think it's the most important to any warm-up routine. Every single pro does this, and it's just easily the best. It helps you warm up your building and editing, and most importantly, your crosshair placement. It's also just a good stress relief that helps you calm down before tournaments. When I'm free building, I like to do different variations of different things. I like to do tunneling, retakes, basically anything that my mind lets me do. It just lets me be creative, and it's one of the best things to warm up with. You can also start with aim, but I prefer free building just because it's more fun. Once you free build, you only need to free build for about 10 to 15 minutes, and after that, you should be good to go. In every warm-up routine, there's 3 main things you need to focus on, and that's building, editing, and aim. Free building knocks out 2 of those at the start. There's other ways to warm up your building and editing, but this is definitely the best because it's the most creative. It doesn't really matter what server you free build on. If you're on Central, you should probably do Central. Even if you're playing comp and you're an East or West player, I prefer to stay on lower ping because it just lets you be able to do more, and you can adapt your higher ping playstyle once you're in the matches. I live in Virginia, so I free build on East and I play competitive on Central, and I think that's just the best. When you're free building, just basically do whatever you feel comfortable doing. Try and get out of your comfort zone a little bit when you're free building, but you can definitely just do this to improve or just warm up your mechanics in general. The next thing about my warm-up routine is the mechanics training map by Raider. This is definitely one of the best maps. It has 5 different categories: edit, piece, aim, comp, and free build. We already did free build, so we don't need to do that. This is the editing. I'll just do this. This is just a spam edit. A lot of these are super easy. I make them look a little bit easier than they are, but they're not too difficult. You don't have to do editing. This kind of gets knocked down the free build, but I like to do it just to, get a little bit more loose. This is the quad edit one. It's not too bad. This one, I don't even know what this one is. I don't really do this one ever, but, it's interesting. There's 3 different types of editing. There's ones that go up, ones that go straight, and ones that go down. So these are all ones that go up. And then this one is for your crosshair placement with editing. So when you're editing, you want to keep your crosshair as close as possible to the middle to be able to move your mouse less. And in turn, this basically makes you edit faster. So those red lines, you want to keep your crosshairs kind of similar in a way to those red lines. And it basically is the fastest edits you could possibly do. Then for the last, I'm just doing this edit down, which is a bunch of floors. This really just helps you warm up and just get loose before a tournament. I think it's very important to do before basically every tournament, just so you can be more free when playing. These are all the guns you could use. Make sure you're using guns that are in the game. And then we're going to go to the piece control section. This is one of my favorite sections. It just helps you do stuff that you're going to do in a competitive tournament. Try when you're doing these to always take a right-hand peek and just take your time on the shot. As you see, I missed a few shots, but that's okay. Just do it again. I try and maintain always a right-hand peek, so make sure you're doing a good peek too, so you're not getting shot. This one's simple too. It's just a triple edit up. It's very important for tournaments as well because you never know what you're gonna have to do in a tournament setting. So having to do these in your warm-up is very important. This overall warm-up routine only takes about 20 to 30 minutes, so depending on how long you want to spend in between each section. Just calm down your aim and just do all of these. This next one I've never done before. This one was a little bit confusing. It's some A up or something going out to the side or something like that. I've never done this before, but just try and get comfortable doing things you're uncomfortable doing is something that you should do in Fortnite. It'll definitely help you when you're playing endgame and have to move in different directions and keep your team alive. You can change your warm-up routine depending on what you need the most. So for me, I spend the most time on my aim because I need to aim the most in my warm-up routine because I think that's my weakest category. But if it's your building or editing, you can always change them. This is just a simple wall replace. This is also very important when you're in a fight, trying to close out a fight and go for someone's wall. This happens in basically every single fight, so it's very important. You don't need to go as fast as I'm going. You should probably take your time and slow down a little bit when you are doing these, but it's not too important. Just do what you're comfortable with and do what you would do in game. The next thing that we're going to be doing is the aim section. This is probably the most important for me. As you can see, there's all these different categories. They're all very good, but there's some that I prefer over others. One of that is the aim duel. This is very important for your shotgun aim close range. It helps you try and max pump someone when someone's in your box. This is very, very important end game, or basically any part of the game when you're up close in someone's face and needing a refresh. I like this map because you don't have to find someone to aim duel. Back in the day, you used to have to find a person, go into a map, and do everything separately. But in this map, it gives you a bot, so you can just simply aim for them. Another one I like to do is surge tags. This one helps with your long range AR aim. This is for those high elo lobbies. This isn't as important if you're just playing reload or just a little tournament. But if you're going to be in a tournament where the elo is high and you're going to need storm surge, this is very important. It also helps when you're shooting at someone from long range, trying to get pre-fight damage. It's very important when you're, playing in these high elo tournaments or even scrims. I try and include this in every single warm-up routine just to make sure every aspect of my aim is very tapped in. I know in Division 5 there's a lot of storm surge, so if you are in Division 5 looking to get out, this is something that is very important that you should be doing every time. This next one is just a simple wall replace. I try and always maintain a right hand peek when doing this. Just play a little safe angles, If I don't hit the max, just try and finish it off decently quick. Trying to reset the wall sometimes. Just, overall, just doing different types of edits, not doing the same thing every single time, but always maintaining that right hand peek is very important for in-game as well. You'll be taking a lot of walls in endgame and mid-game, especially in those mid-game fights where you need to close it out. Obviously, the new meta in Fortnite is everyone just reboxes a million times, so being able to take someone's wall and piece control them is very important. Just try different situations. Even endgame when you need a refresh, it's always very important. The next section is competitive. I'm going to be doing the clutch practice, where it basically puts you in a 1v5 situation, or basically any situation, and it's basically just trying to isolate 1v1s is the entire point of it. When you're in a 1v2, 1v3, anything like that, the easiest way to win them is to isolate 1v1. So in this, obviously it's not a 1v2, but it's basically just helping you take 1v1s with more people, so when you're in a 1v2 it's a lot easier. As you can see, I'm just trying to maintain 1v1s, not peeking too many people at the same time, not trying to take damage. Always take a right hand peek, it's very important. This one, right hand peek, miss a few shots, but that's okay. Just don't even worry about your aim on this. Just try and just lock in, be calm. You can't ruin your mental before a tournament, so just play it, There's no stress at all. This next one's a piece control tunnel, which is very good to help your mechanics. It's very good for endgame when you have to get through a lot of old builds and you just have to, traverse different terrains. I've never played this specific one, so I'm a little bit slower, but it's okay. You just gotta learn it, take your time on these edits, just go at your own pace. This is also very good if you want to piece control someone during a mid-game fight. The next thing we're going to do is headshot practice, which is basically the same as that 1v2, 1v3, except this one is only max pump. So you got to really isolate your aim to try and hit that 195 pump. And yeah, just try and isolate 1v1s, not get shot by two different many angles. Try and always have that right hand peek advantage. You should see by now that in the warm-up routine, your aim and all your mechanics, you should be feeling a little bit better when playing. So you shouldn't have too much of a difficulty in these ones. The next thing we're going to do is kind of similar to the other one, but a little bit harder. This is just the edit training where you're just going to need to keep your crosshair on the line when you're doing it. Try and keep it as close as possible. You're moving and it's in first person, so it's a little bit difficult, but if you're able to do this, then you're basically able to do any edit in game. So it's very important to do in your warm-up routine to kind of finish off the editing section. And it gives you all the hard edits, all the easy edits. It gives you everything. The next step in this warm-up routine, we're going to be playing solo endgame zone wars. This is the last step to really solidify you. This is basically endgame practice. So what you do is it's basically solos. You can also play the duo zone wars with your duo. That helps a lot. But it's basically just simulating different endgames, and it's very good practice to play a lot of these. This will help you get really good at endgame. Even as not just a warm-up, if you want to get better at endgames, this is definitely something that you should try and be playing. Once you get good, you shouldn't have too much difficulty winning these lobbies because they're not the greatest. But once you first start, it's going to be difficult. Just make sure to try and play as placement as possible. Try not to take too many dumb fights or fights that you wouldn't take in the actual game. And yeah. I play these pretty much every day, not just to warm up, but also to practice. It helps me work on getting my refreshes. It helps me work on just playing smart and doing good rotates, because these are very similar to the actual map. Some of these lobbies can be very laggy, so just be careful. Just try not to play too aggressive when you're fighting people. Just take it slow, be calm, and yeah. You should always put this at the last of your warm-up routine, because everything else is going to be dialed in by the time you should be playing this, so you should have the most success playing this. If you play this at the start, you're probably just going to rage quit because, you know, they're not going to be warmed up or anything. That's the end of this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. That's all. Thank you. See you all in the next video.